Ask the Saudis. I guess they don't even know themselves. This world. There's a petrodollar deal. The past few days. You should have seen it. This news swiped the screen of the whole network. Almost all financial bloggers are promoting. They say Saudi Arabia no longer has a contract renewal with the dollar. The agreement lasted for 50 years. The peg between oil and the dollar has ended. So about this, I only say one word. Fake, because in the past week there is no authority in the world. Official news media.
That's how you do it, shit, like.
Okay, and you might think that's because they're reporting good news and not bad news. I just dare not say something happened. Then you keep looking. The real evidence is in history. Saudi Arabia and the United States. It was never signed. The so-called petrodollar agreement. Yes, these two countries were in 1974. There were some collaborations. However, the details of that year. It's never been shown in public. Who here would say they've seen it, then you are not my fan. I'm your fan. The only thing that can be sure of a trace. It was the Saudi process. With the dollars they get from selling their oil. In exchange for American goods and services and the flow of technology. Why would Saudi Arabia make such a commitment? Because at that time, Saudi Arabia and Iraq next door. And Iran will not deal with it. And what about at home? And I happen to find a lot of oil. So there's no way. You can only seek layman from the United States. There is also geographical protection. To put it bluntly, is to pay for a bodyguard. Just for peace of mind. So get it. There was no such thing as an agreement back then. There is no 50-year deadline.
That's how you do it, shit, like.
Rumors of no contract renewal. Naturally fake. But don't be in a hurry to row away. The real point of the story. It's not that Saudi Arabia signed the agreement or not. Although the news is not true. The oil trade is gradually moving away from the dollar. It's not a lie. In fact, as early as January last year, the Saudi finance minister has already announced Saudi Arabia is now willing to invest in oil. Introduce other currencies. You give him other money. He dares to accept. The weight of the sentence is enough. So in comparison to the petrodollar decoupling, rather, Saudi Arabia no longer needs US protection. Remember what I just said back then. What Saudi Arabia was most afraid of was Iraq and Iran. Their relationship can be said to be incompatible. Not at all. And now the biggest distraction. The most important dark mine. It's been demolished. Who dismantled it? Excuse me. Remember the news I sent the video back then? It's China. The Saudi-Iranian reconciliation of the century. Peaceful competition in the region has begun. So who needs bodyguards? Who needs guns and ammunition? And maybe you didn't know it. Saudi Arabia
That's
is
how
now
you
joining
do
the
it,
bank for international
shit,
settlements.
like.
And the multilateral central bank led by China. Digital currency bridge project. You don't care about this project. How big it is. How much action is there now? Saudi Arabia just joined that. What has been proven? Prove that they themselves have a dollar. The parts that don't want to be tied up anymore. Saudi Arabia has responded. It's operational. So at this moment, nobody says anything about the petrodollar trading system. It has completely collapsed. It still exists. The dollar remains strong. But what about that? You can't deny it either. The world's to dollar progress. Acceleration visible to the naked eye. It's a long process. The impact is gradual. And we are witnesses to history. Also a participant.